everybody to today's edition of Inside Indie Businesses. Today we have one of Indie's most talented producers and also a drummer. He goes by the name Pelz Music. We want to go inside his life, find out what he's been through, what he's up to, and what he's doing at the moment. Pelz, welcome to the show today.
Man, thanks so much, Mazzy. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh man, you look so good. I love your chain.
Thank you.
Is this the new brand? Like with the bandana on and everything?
That's the brand we're trying to build now.
Definitely. You're looking very good. So tell us, like, who's Pelz Music?
So Pelz Music, actually, I'm a recording engineer, music producer. I'm a drummer, piano player. It's a lot. Bass player. I mean, I'm good with musical instruments. Yes.
So yeah, when I tell you like he's one of the most talented people I've met, take that as a fact.
Thank you.
So yeah, definitely. So Pelz, let's start with your production. Or which of them do you want to start with? Which of them did you start doing first of all?
Okay, so I started playing musical instruments first. So musical instruments started for me when I was 10. My dad got me a piano for my birthday. So, I just started, always playing with it. And at some point when I was like 11, I kicked it to the side. But then my dad would always come and be like, you know what, play this thing. He got me a teacher at some point. Then I started learning. From there, I fell in love with the drums. I fell in love with guitar. Then I started playing everything together. So that was how music started for me.
Wow, as in, don't you consider yourself lucky? Because there's a lot of Nigerian kids that actually don't have this story. It would actually be the reverse, where parents would discourage their children from going into music. So do you consider yourself lucky in that?
Yeah, I consider myself lucky. And it's so funny that I wouldn't say my parents cared about music, but as at the time, maybe because they just wanted me to do something aside from just going to school, or just because I'm the only child of my parents. So maybe they just wanted me to do more, really.
So yeah, that's something I would definitely encourage parents to do. You have a child or you have children, you have to definitely give them something else to do other than just, read their books. Football, soccer, drawing, art, music, these are all great options. So Pelumi, so when did you actually start professionally producing?
So I started production professionally during the pandemic. Professionally.
For real?
During the pandemic. That was in 2020, like last year. But I already started learning production a long time ago. Even when I was in Nigeria, I learned a couple, like to use FL Studio to make beats. When I was here too, there's a friend of mine, Doystick, is a producer too. He helped me a lot with production at the time. So I picked from, a lot of places, like even YouTube. I have some friends in Canada. I have some friends in the UK that does production too that I always call. But really, production started for me last year when I got my first studio monitors. That's when production started for me professionally, and I wanted to take it to the next level. So from then I started to learn production.
Okay, so I know you're a part of a group in Indianapolis, USA called Indie Groove. Yeah. Can you tell us about that? Rumors have it that you're the founder. I mean, some people say you're just a member of the group. What is Indie Groove about, and how did that come, and how did that start?
Okay, so Indie Groove started with, I and my friend started Indie Groove. He's a Togolese guy. We started Indie Groove in 2016. So Indie Groove started, we wanted to do something different because we have a lot of bands in indie that do, maybe iLive, Juju music. We have some bands that do American stuff and all. But there's no really Afrobeat band. And that's because Afrobeat music back in the day was not really all that big, So we wanted to do something different. So we started remixing songs. It was just both of us. We started remixing songs. Then later, one of my other friends, the guitar player, Nathaniel, he joined. Then we became 3. So we started Indie Groove together. But then Raul had to move to Atlanta. So when he moved, I had to continue Indie Groove. So I'm not really the founder of Indie Groove, but right now I'm just the representative of Indie Groove right now. And I'm the co-founder too, So
awesome. So yeah, I just want to get something straight. So when you were in Nigeria, you were pretty much just going to school and doing music unprofessionally.
Yeah.
And then when did you come to the United States?
I came to the United States in 2015.
Yes. Okay. And then in 2015, you decided to start a band.
2016.
2016.
I co-founded the band.
Okay, which came first? your music production or being, co-founder of a brand?
Okay, so being a co-founder of a band kind of came first because I mean, I have passion to play music first off, even before producing music. Playing the music and knowing your craft is the number one. My knowledge of music or my knowledge of instruments plays a big part in my production. So that started first. Then production started for me professionally in 2020. But from since 2016, 2017, I've been learning, picking pieces all around. But 2020, production started for me during the pandemic.
So right now, at this stage in your career, if I was to define you by one thing, playing the music or production, which would you prefer?
Okay, at this point of my life, it's production. Like predominantly what I do now is production. I rarely play gigs. Like that's why a lot of people say they don't see me outside because I rarely play gigs.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely touch base on his production because I know a few major singles that he has produced here in Indianapolis. We'll come back to that. But, back to Indie Groove. I've seen you play several times. I think you're awesomely talented. I mean, you can check out his Instagram. He has different, videos of himself playing covers to different major songs. And I really think those kinds of things really helped your brand in terms of exposure and all of that. Yeah. But what were your challenges when it came to, organizing a band like Indie Groove, especially from the perspective where you're trying to do something different?
This is a very, very big topic, and I think I'm going to talk for a while.
Yeah,
before I go right in, big shout out to the promoters that are really, really trying their best to get things together. I know organizing events can be very, very stressful, and I understand logistics and everything. But for a live band or for a live music artist, I feel like one of the challenges we face is basically the sound. So sound can be very expensive, and I know because I've put up shows and I know how expensive sound can be. But the thing is, getting the band and getting the artist to sound good, the sound system plays like 80% of it plays like 80% of the role in getting the band and the artist to sound good. So like one thing with these halls that we have, the acoustic is nice and everything, but the sound that's going to fit to the hall, there's a lot of things that goes into that, and a lot of promoters kind of find it difficult because of the financial aspect. I feel like promoters can do better if they hire an event producer. So I do a little bit of event production, and what I try to do is that I try to cut the cost and make it friendly to the promoters. I'm not even about making the cost little, just more about explaining, because one thing with these promoters is that they don't really see the need for those things. So we as the musicians, we show up that day and we are angry. But there's nobody really explaining. We don't have that bridge between the live band artist and the producer and the event planners or the promoters. Because the event planners or the promoters, they are probably speaking to the band, they're speaking to the sound engineers. There's no bridge. There's supposed to be a bridge between the live band and the promoter.
Okay, not to cut you short, but I do understand what or where he's coming at. Having been a part of so many shows in Indianapolis and in Lagos and different places. I mean, you want to go to a show and have a proper sound experience. You feel like you're a part of the whole scheme of things. You don't want to go to a show and feel like the sound is not befitting of the show. I've seen several shows with top artists. I don't want to mention names here in Indianapolis where the microphone is bad. There's cuts in between, or the DJ is not even in tune with what the artist wants to do next. So it's very paramount that as event promoters, event organizers, we have to ensure that these customers we are bringing to venues, or the audience, so to speak, have a proper experience so that they can keep coming back.
Yes.
One of the problems is you see places that are empty. One of it is because the last show they were at wasn't worth it. So why would they why would they waste their time for another show? But that's a very key should I say, point that he brought up. I like to discuss problems, and I
Yes.
also like to discuss solutions.
Yes.
So, what, in your opinion, as an experienced, sound engineer, producer, band co-founder, what, in
Yes.
your opinion, would solve some of these problems?
Okay, so I started a production company, Pelz Studios. One of the things we do at Pelz Studios is that we're that bridge between live band, the live band artists, the and sound engineers, and the DJs. We are we are the bridge between the promoters and them. So we explain to the producer, to the promoters, on how they can better assist the live bands, DJs, and everybody. So that way, they are not spending too much money, and they're not also wasting financial funds and everything. So we explain to them, and then we also explain to the live band. So the live band knows what they're getting, and the promoters too are aware of what they are providing. So that's what we do.
So, what's your response? Because I will tell you right off the bat, promoters don't want to add additional cost. Sometimes they want to see a lot of value in what you
Yes.
are proposing. So, what has been their response? And like, what everything you've told them, like with all the proposals you've submitted, do you think that they responded positively?
So I've not really worked with a lot of promoters. I've only worked with like one because I just started my company. So I only work with one, and that is, can I mention names?
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
feel free.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's Shola Kalakuta. We did a show with the Ace Band sometimes earlier this year, and I produced the event with the sound. I provided the sound and everything, and it went well because I communicated with the band. I mean, we couldn't provide everything they asked for, but there was that communication. I told them everything we have and everything we can provide, and as a live band, band person and as a musician, I could relate better with them and how they can better, how they can better assist their performance. So that was a good one for that event.
Okay, yeah. Shout out to Shola Infinity, owner of Club Kalakuta, one of the biggest clubs out here in Indianapolis. Shout out to everybody in entertainment in this city trying to do things right. It definitely is not easy. We are not going to get there overnight, but discussions like these need to be held so that at least you hear people's opinions on your events, on your shows, and you can also find ways to improve on your next event. So yeah, definitely want to say kudos to the promoters, but yeah, keep liaising with these third-party agencies that will provide you with proper equipment, proper sound, so that the quality of these events improve, and we as the consumers, we generally appreciate better quality. So now I want to go to your production.
Yes.
Yes. So with production, I noticed that you work with, at least I can tell, Ocho Mafia, Olawale Kentucky, some of the biggest artists out of Indianapolis. Can you just point us towards some of the songs that you've produced lately?
Okay, so well, there's a project coming up. Ocho Mafia's EP is coming up, and I'm the producer on that EP. I put in my all to that EP. So yeah, we're going to see more of that in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be out. So with production, for me, I know that a lot of people I'm a little bit specific about the people I work with when it comes to production. And it's because that was because I was learning. So the learning process for me, I was not really confident of my production. So the little artists that I've put out what I did was forcefully, and they're like, please, I want to push it. I like it. I didn't really want to have anything out there in a long time, but now, I mean, I'm open to producing. I'm working with anybody, and I'm saying it now. Anybody, I'm hoping to working with.
Yeah, I
anybody.
listened to some of his productions and I was really impressed. Trust me, I'm not easy to impress when it comes to music because of my, like the fact that I listen to a lot of songs. I work with a lot of artists, but I listened to Happy Day by Olawale Kentucky and Ocho Mafia. That's one song that I recommend. But what went into that? Like, how did you come up with such a good tune? And
Happy Day for me, really. When I first, okay, so I had made the beat one night. I mean, shout out to Ocho Mafia. He's somebody that he plays piano too, so he knows sound, and he knows tunes. So so when I played the beat to him, he and Wale, he was like, oh, can you add this? Can you add this? He gave me a lot of rhythms, and when the studio was just vibing, and then we're like, oh, let's do this. So Wale was like, oh, okay, Ocho, let's jump on this. So we already recorded the song like a long time ago. So when while he started working on his album, he's like, I want to put that song on my album. And I'm like, I'm not sure. He's like, Pelumi, don't worry, let's just put it. I didn't know the song was going to turn out that nice, but I sent it to the mixing engineer. He worked on it, he sent it back to me. I liked it, and I'm like, okay, yeah. And that was the point I added my tag, and I'm like, okay. Then I added my tag to it. Yeah.
Amazing piece of music, man. You need to go listen to Happy Day, produced by Pelz. It's Olawale, Kentucky, and it features Ocho Mafia on the jam.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of positive reviews on that song, and people have even walked up to me and said they want that song to be, representative of their brand. They want to buy the song. They want to, in some way or somehow, be a part of the success of that song. So yeah, kudos on what you've done.
Thank you.
So what's your take when it comes to artist-producer relationships, the business side of it? Like, what's your nuances? Or let me just put the question another way. What does it take to work with you?
Okay, so shout out to Mazi, because we're still learning a lot of the business side from him. So, I mean, the business side is really broad. So that's really one thing I'm still working on right now. Having the proper documentations for that, and I'm still working on that. I don't have it yet, but I'm still working on it. I feel like the business side is what I really need to work on personally. But my relationship with artists in general is I think is really, really nice, because most of the artists I've worked with, there are people I already have a relationship with, and so making music comes easy for us. And one thing I do when I work with people in my studio, when they come over, I just want us to discuss, like, just have a conversation first, so that way we can have that relationship. Because when I make music, I always want to be relaxed. I don't want to work under pressure, because I don't want to mess up.
Because a creative process, you have to be relaxed. You have to be chill, clear-minded. All the ideas and thoughts need to flow naturally and everything. So yeah, good one. I mean, it's been very educative. It's been a pleasure. Getting to know you, getting to know what you do. And yeah, on getting to know you, are you single or married at this point in time? Like, is there any girl you're like?
I'm single.
Is that because you're in front of a camera? I hope there's no girl out there that is punching the floor right now saying.
No, I mean, I'm single right now. So yeah, there's no ring on my finger, of course.
Okay, good. I mean, all the young ladies out there, man, we have a handsome young man.
I'm not searching, though. I'm not searching.
Who's doing great for himself. But yeah, I mean, great to know. So, I mean, are there any last things you want to add? I mean, I don't know if there's anything you want to talk about. I basically ran out of questions I wanted to ask you. More paramount for me was the fact that this is a young man that has so much ideas on how we can improve sound in different venues, different concert venues. He has the talent, he has the skill. I don't see any reason why, as promoters or event organizers, event hosts, we cannot work with people like this to improve our business. And that's why I brought him to the studio, basically to share or enlighten us on the need for such, input when it comes to sound in an audience. Like, you don't expect to go to maybe an event you pay $100 or something of that nature, and the sound is poor. It's really not representative of what we want Afrobeat music or African artists to be at this point in time. So, I mean, great insight, great stuff. But is there anything that you want to add?
Okay, so I'll say two things. I'm reaching out to the promoters and event organizers. Y'all can reach out to me at Pelz Studios. It's a new production company, and we're trying to really, really come down to everybody's level and work with everybody on everybody's level. So what we bring to the table, we want to be that bridge between yourself and the artists, the DJs, the live band. I know there are a lot of terminologies that these artists and these musicians can bring to the table that may be so big for you or maybe so unrelatable, but we're coming to relate it to you and make your show a success. So that's one. Two, my friend and my brother Ocho Mafia, his EP is coming out soon, and I produced most of the songs on the EP. So you guys that are wanting to hear my production work, I think that's one EP that you guys should look out for, and I put in all my energy to that EP. So thank you.
Alrighty, before we let him go, last question. So what songs are you listening to right now, local and international? Which songs are you feeling?
The deluxe album, Whiskey, I love the album. And shout out to my friend.
Big Wiz, yo.
Shout out to my brother and my friend, P Prime. He's an amazing producer too. He worked on the Deluxe album. Nice, good job. Yeah, that one. I mean, I don't really know if there are any recent songs in locally in indie right now but I have some old songs that I always listen to. Like I co-produced "Oh Baby" by Olawale Kentucky. It's pretty old though. I listen to that a lot. I love Asiko anytime, any day. Shout out to Afro Rose.
You can be anything you want, you can be anything you need. No come, no go fit to know. I still matter, they go.
I listen to that anytime.
Afro Rose, Alastico, yeah.
Yeah, Superwoman, Timmy Sing song, my special woman.
Loving you. I'm at the shop, baby. If when I'm at the shop, baby, I say me and you.
I always tell Timmy Sing song every day that's my best song. I don't know what any other person says. That's my best song. I love that song.
Yeah, awesome stuff, man. Even Timmy Sing song knows that. You know, I've told you so many times. Personally, I listen to that song all the time. Superwoman, Alastico. Yeah. I think we both have a lot of things in common when it comes to music.
Yeah, because the first time I heard Asiko, I think that was the video shoot day that you brought me to. Yeah. I fell in love with that song. Asiko it really speaks a lot when it comes to Afrobeat music at this time. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out to Timmy Sing song, Afro Rose, Olawale Kentucky, and every other artist out here in Indianapolis, you know, putting in their best. Definitely we see you. People are listening. So, I mean, just give your best at any point in time. Anytime the opportunity comes, make sure you're there and ready to grab it with both hands. And yeah, I think we've come to the end of this interview. I am Mazi Ifani, CEO of MaziIfani.com, USA's #1 Afrobeat space. And until we come your way next week with another guest, I just want to say thank you so much for honoring the invite. Thank you so much for coming. You're a busy person. You have a lot of things you're doing in your studio and everything, and it's really an honor to have you here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. And until we come back again, have a great rest of your day.